Welcome to Petty Details, where the crew gallivants down a tree-lined lane of conversation on all kinds of different subjects. Join the crew as they jump in the Wayback Machine in the quest for nuggets of knowledge. Our journey will allegedly drop some petty details on you that you didn't know you needed to know until now. Hello, crew!
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. All right. So, as always, I want to welcome my co-hosts, Monica and Cam.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep. And today we are going to talk about something that we are going to say this a lot.
Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Oh.
Are we going to be talking about history and shit?
We are going to be talking about history and shit.
Yes.
Will we possibly be talking about just thoughts and not facts?
Yes.
Even better.
Okay.
For sure. All right. So if you want merch, let us know. If you have an idea for a show, let us know.
Yes.
We do actually read your comments in the YouTube thing, so put them in
We
there.
do.
And subscribe.
Don't want to miss any of those petty details.
No.
Nope.
Okay, so all right. Are you guys ready to talk about an enduring mystery today?
Oh, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we are gonna go in the Wayback Machine to November 24th, 1971.
Okay.
It's
Awesome.
the day before Thanksgiving in a busy
I was about to
airport
say.
in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
A
Okay.
clean-cut man, about 40 something, wearing a suit, tie, loafers, and a trench coat, buys a ticket on Northwest Orient Airlines on flight 305 to Seattle for $18.52.
What?
Yeah.
The 70s? Now we're
Let's
flying
bring back
for
those
less
plane
than 20
prices.
bucks?
For
Yeah.
real. So he's carrying a briefcase and a brown paper bag. And he looks like
Okay.
any other traveler heading to like a last minute meeting in Seattle.
Okay. Sounds
Um,
about
the
right. Yeah.
yeah, the flight is only about 30 minutes away. Remember, it's
Okay.
right before the holiday.
Okay.
And
Right.
Busy.
flight, yeah,
Also, I heard Thanksgiving is like worse than Christmas, travel
I think it
wise.
is. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Hmm. So the flight takes off normally, and a little after 3 p.m., the man hands the flight attendant that is sitting behind him a note.
Hmm.
And this is
Okay.
common for men on her flights to hand her their numbers. So she smiles politely and sticks the note in her purse.
Just thinks nothing of
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be so
Then,
attractive to be like, oh, it's obviously his number and put it in your
Right.
pocket.
And not even look at it. She's like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know what
yeah.
that is. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
ah, yeah. So then her world changes forever. So the man turns to her and says, Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so the flight attendant looks at the note written in all capital letters in felt tip pen and goes to sit with the man. He slightly opens the briefcase and she sees a bunch of wires and red sticks. The
Bruh.
note
Ooh.
demands $200,000 in 20s.
She's like, sir, I'm a flight attendant.
Right.
Right? What
You
do you want me to
paid
do with it?
$20 for your
I
flight. How
yeah,
much do you
that's
think I make?
I get
Yeah.
paid, yeah.
So he demands $200,000, four parachutes, and the plane to land in an area of the Seattle airport that was away from the terminal.
Okay.
The
Okay.
ticket the man bought is in the name of Dan Cooper.
Oh.
Dan Cooper.
So this is a story that we all know a little bit about. Um,
Hmm.
DB Cooper gets a bunch of money, jumps out of a plane. He's never seen or heard from again, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But this is petty details.
And
So
there's
there's
more.
more.
That's right. So we're going to get into some petty details of this mystery.
Let's
Okay.
go.
All right. So at this point in the story, Dan Cooper has shown the flight attendant the note, which she has to write down on a different piece of paper and take to the cockpit.
Okay.
She takes it up to the cockpit and then goes back to sit with Dan. The crew alerts Northwest Orient Airlines dispatch that they have a problem on board.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Right. Why did she
I would
have
be like,
to?
it's a bomb.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
did she have to like rewrite the note though? I'm curious.
You will find out.
Okay.
His handwriting shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Probably. It's identifiable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously this causes like a big ol' stir. There's a bunch
Oh,
of chaos
does
on the
it now?
ground as the
Shocker.
FBI gets involved. The Seattle airport has to prepare for this landing, and Northwest Orient president decides to authorize the payment.
Okay.
Damn.
And he tells the employees and the crew to comply with whatever Dan says.
What? Okay. Well, I guess for their safety, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, dude's got a bomb for all they know. Like,
Right,
Exactly.
right.
So the flight attendant and Dan are actually having like a pleasant conversation. He's
'Cause
not
he's
They're
what?
yelling.
flirting.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
because let me guess, he's charming.
He's charming.
Right.
Yeah. But he's not like yelling. He's not nervous. He's
No.
just kind of normal. And he seems to know the area as they pass over it. So he's commenting as he looks out the window that, like, hey, I think that's Tacoma down there.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And she
Just
asks
conversation.
why he's doing this.
Mhm.
And he says, it's not because I have a grudge against your airline. It's just because I have a grudge.
Okay. Hey,
Okay.
you know what? Some people have bad days.
Right.
And I get it, but
I have had grudges against airlines, let me tell you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meg has reason for that, but yeah,
Yeah.
like
Oh no.
it's okay, interesting. I just have a
It's
grudge.
extreme.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just have a
I have a
grudge.
grudge.
So they even start like discussing where she's from. But
Mhm.
when she
Okay.
asks him, he cuts her off and doesn't answer.
Obviously.
Right.
Mhm.
Meanwhile,
He's
the
like, my
30
address is
right.
Right.
Here's my phone number.
But he's
Right.
very clearly familiar with the area of
Yeah.
Seattle, not
Mhm.
like the surrounding. So
So
He's from the
meanwhile,
Northwest, I would assume.
yeah.
yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. So meanwhile, the
Oh?
36 passengers on board have no idea any of this is going on.
Which
Jeez.
is crazy. Because if you think about it, like when you're on a flight, if stuff like that happens, they're not letting you know. Because
No.
they know you're gonna panic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like you just have to hope, you know?
Right.
Like, okay, just put my
And
headphones
you're-
in, head down, and don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
That's what I
Meanwhile,
did anyway.
on my flight, I was like, yeah, I was talking to everybody. Literally, I was like, so where are you
He
going?
was that
And I was
guy.
like, oh, I'm one of those annoying people that's like, but they seem nice too. They were like talking back. So if someone
Did you
didn't
at
talk
least
back, I would just be like,
did you at least tell him about the podcast?
yeah.
That is a no.
That
Did
I
you
was
did
gonna
you hear
say
that?
no.
I was interested in the conversation. I'm so sorry, I forgot.
Cam, you're the worst.
They'll know from now on. I'll throw
Oh,
the pins at them. I'll be like, hey, you want this cool pin?
Good. All right.
Nice.
Okay,
I have to
so
have them on me 24/7.
thank you. Please do. All right, so the plane is late landing because it's circling Seattle while the FBI and Northwest Orient get the money and the parachutes together.
Okay.
But passengers are told in the 2 hours that they're waiting to land that there's like a minor mechanical difficulty.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I
So
would
they're
have
in
been
the
like,
air circling for 2 hours,
Mhm.
and they go with a mechanical difficulty as to why they can't land. That
Yes.
right.
seems like that would incite more panic rather than, oh, there's an
Right,
issue on the
right.
ground. Like,
Right.
Yeah. Something's wrong with the plane that we're currently been flying in for 2 hours, so
right,
fine.
everyone just
extra hours.
relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have been mad because some people miss like meetings and
Oh,
stuff. Like they
yeah,
had
for
Oh.
sure. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And if you're circling for 2 hours, it's like, what the hell's going on?
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Especially when you were only supposed to be on the plane for 30 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
They better
You
at
are
least
not
give more
prepared for that.
complimentary drinks and food, little snacks.
Right? Hopefully. All right. So Dan just sits there like any other passenger. He's smoking, and the flight attendant keeps him chatting. And he mentions that he knows how far McCord Air Force Base is from the airport because that's
Oh.
where the parachutes will have to come from.
Right.
Okay. He's done
Meanwhile-
his research.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the ground, the FBI is photographing the serial numbers on the bills and
Yeah.
working on getting the parachutes.
Okay.
But the parachutes are actually posing a slight problem. and they have to get them from a skydiving school.
Oh gosh.
Why don't they just give him fake parachutes and when he jumps out, just
I'll tell you that in a minute. And the
okay.
parachutes that the FBI gets are one of a kind.
Oh,
Oh, from the school?
Yes.
Okay.
nice.
So
Well, that's good because yeah,
well, they didn't. I don't
anything
think
that's
they knew this.
identifiable.
Yeah, but I don't think they
Oh,
did this
okay.
on purpose.
Oh,
The
okay. This was an
parachutes,
accident.
yeah, the parachutes had been packed by a man named Earl Cossey.
Mm-hmm.
He was a
Okay.
middle school math teacher who was an avid
Nice.
Oh,
skydiver.
that's
But
awesome.
yeah, but he's cheap.
Oh shoot.
Oh,
So he buys surplus NB8 bailout rigs and turns them into sports rigs by modifying them.
Oh. Hmm.
oh,
Yeah.
Sounds super safe.
right.
But the FBI has to give Dan 4 working parachutes because they aren't
Four.
sure if he intends to use one or all of them on hostages, so they can't take the risk.
Oh,
True.
that makes
Good
sense.
point.
That's so right. Because I was like, yeah, why four? But I didn't even think about hostages. You're so right.
Yeah. So the 727 plane lands in Seattle, and it is a tense situation. The
Hmm.
plane is off to the side, and the passengers will be released only when Dan gets the money and the chutes.
Okay.
But the crew, the pilot, and 1 flight attendant have to stay aboard.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
The 19-pound bag of money
Oh, gee.
and the parachutes are delivered by the Northwest Orient Seattle operations manager. He has to walk to the plane that is far from the terminal and go up the mobile stairs to the front door of the plane. The
I'd
flight
have been
at
like, get me some wheels to put this on. Ain't no
yeah.
way.
Seriously, 20-pound bag of money.
So the flight attendant retrieves the money and the parachutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I did hear something, I'm not sure if it's true or not, that he did not actually specify the denomination of money that he wanted.
Oh.
So it could have been, $100 bills or whatever, and it would have been 10 pounds, 5 pounds.
Right.
Right, right.
And
He's like,
instead he got
give it to
19.
me in, give it to me in pesos. It's all
Right.
coins.
Yeah.
Right.
So I did hear that rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but
Hmm.
it might have been a little heavier than he expected.
I can
Gotcha.
imagine.
All
Which I'm
right.
sure was intentional on someone's part because it's like, oh, let's weigh this guy down.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
Right.
know. Or if they just couldn't find that many hundreds.
Nah,
I don't.
true.
This is a
Yeah.
rush job, okay?
They
Yeah.
were asking everybody, hey, you got a 20? We need to
Right.
borrow it.
Right.
All right. So Dan says the plane will continue on to Mexico City, but the plane
Oh,
must refuel.
okay.
Okay. And he has let the passengers go at this point.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So while the plane is refueling, he's like getting antsy because it's taking a long time. But the flight
Hmm.
attendant is trying to like keep the mood light by joking with him.
Okay.
That's
And
good.
she says that he should share some of the money with her.
Good on her though. Like seriously,
Nice.
like being put in the hot seat like that and just being like, okay, let's roll with this.
Yeah.
Right, right. She's like, "Do you need a partner? Do you yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'll get off at Mexico City with you if you need." Yeah.
But Dan actually hands her a packet of bills.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, here for your services. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you don't get paid a lot. Here you go.
Right.
But she
Wow.
declines, saying that tipping is against company policy.
That's good.
You should share the money with me, but JK, I can't take any tips.
Right.
The humor, her humor is great. That's awesome.
No, that's fantastic.
In the face of this bomb, I guess she just
Right.
has to like, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the plane takes off again, but with the understanding that they will have to stop in Reno to refuel again.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And there are
'Cause you're
two
traveling halfway into
F-106.
Mexico.
Yeah. There are two F-106 fighters and a Lockheed T trainer from the Air Force Base that follows the 727.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So inside the plane, Dan is unhappy with the bag that the money has come in. He doesn't say anything about the weight. He just doesn't
Oh,
like the bag.
now he's getting picky.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, y'all got me a JanSport bag. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, they called
I
it
asked
a
for Gucci.
knapsack, so I don't know. That
He
could
couldn't
be a lot
spring
of
for
things.
Samsonite or something. I
Right,
mean, come
yeah.
on.
Right.
So he starts cutting up one of the parachutes and uses the bag that the parachute comes in to put the money in.
What?
Okay.
The flight attendant mentions that the parachutes come with instructions, but Dan said he didn't need them.
Okay.
Okay.
Dan takes off his tie, leaves it on seat 18E. He
Oh.
then gets into his jumpsuit, still wearing his suit, trench coat, and loafers.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh. Okay.
But not all of the money has fit into the parachute bag. So he starts
Okay.
stuffing the rest of it in his jumpsuit.
Okay.
And he tells the flight attendant to go to the cockpit and not come out.
Mm,
All right.
He also tells the crew to fly at a low speed with the landing gear down, no higher than 10,000
Oh,
feet. And they do as
Mm.
they're told because that's what Northwest Orient told them to do.
yeah.
right.
So around 8 p.m., somewhere between Seattle and Reno, the crew sees a light in the cockpit, indicating the rear stairs have gone down in the back of the plane.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
They do not peek to see what is going on.
Which
No.
again, I don't blame him because
No.
he is threatened with a bomb. So like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And at around 8:13, the crew feels the plane pitch up slightly.
Okay. Like
Okay.
somebody kind of like push off.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
The
The
fighter
boy's
planes
gone.
that are following it do not see anything,
Oh.
Oh.
nor does the
Okay.
radar.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. So the plane lands in Reno at 11:02 p.m. with the back stairs still open.
Okay.
Oh,
And Dan Cooper is gone with the note, the original note, 2 parachutes and the money.
Huh.
wow.
Okay.
So that's why he took the note, because he wasn't going to leave it behind. That's why she had to
Yeah.
rewrite it.
He took his
Gotcha.
handwriting. He took everything.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Probably fingerprints, stuff
I
like
mean,
that. He didn't
awesome.
want it. Yeah.
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 So the
Did he
hunt,
take his tie with him too?
no, it is left on the seat.
Okay.
Okay. So the
A
hunt
present for you.
then
Right.
starts.
Okay.
So FBI begins NORJAC investigation, as it will be called,
Mm-hmm.
dispatches boats,
Okay.
planes, helicopters, and an army of people to scour the area of the woods that they think he landed in. This
Jeez.
was like one of the biggest search
Manhunts ever.
things
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like
Um,
imagine he could have jumped off anywhere. Like they can tell him
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
when they felt it move, but like he could have landed anywhere in between Reno in between
Mm-hmm.
Seattle and Reno.
right.
Like,
And they don't even know that he for sure
right.
like took off at that point, or if it was something
Mm-hmm.
else, like nobody
Right,
knows.
right.
Yeah.
So they don't know at
That's
what
crazy.
point he has jumped.
Well, and if the
So,
fighters didn't spot anything, you know,
yeah,
Right. He's
they're
just in the
flying
bathroom.
low and slow enough that they would have seen something.
you'd think, yeah,
Yeah.
but they did not.
Huh.
When they landed in Reno, he just got out of the bathroom and just left the plane and then
It's just like,
Right.
I'm
I
out,
mean,
yeah.
it's yeah. What's all the
All right.
commotion about?
So
Right,
nobody
right.
really is sure because none of the crew saw him after 8 p.m. So they
Mhm.
don't know what time he actually jumped.
Yeah,
Dang.
because everybody
Yeah.
was in the cockpit. Yeah.
Everybody was in the
Right.
cockpit. Okay, so petty detail here.
Ooh.
Oh.
A skeleton was found during the search,
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
and it turned out to be Barbara Ann Derry, who had been abducted and murdered.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Well, good.
So they
Glad
did
they
solve
found
one
her, I
crime.
guess.
yeah,
I was like,
Yeah,
dang.
but as of 2024, the case is still unsolved, but they do have suspects in mind. But
Interesting.
I
I
don't know.
mean, at this point, it's what, 50 years later? Who
Mhm.
cares?
Yeah, I don't
Let
know
him have
that.
let him have the money at this point. Come on. He's spent it already. It's
Yeah.
gone.
Probably.
No, for
Well,
sure.
maybe not. So, meanwhile, the plane is being picked over by authorities.
Hmm.
The bomb squad
Mhm.
clears the plane first, then the forensic team comes in. They find 8 cigarette butts, 66 fingerprints, 2 parachutes, and the clip-on tie.
And a partridge in a pear
Okay.
tree.
Yeah. So the FBI starts to get descriptions of Dan Cooper, And all of the descriptions are pretty similar. White guy with an olive complexion, mid 40s, wearing a suit with a white shirt, black tie, loafers, and a trench coat, about 6'1", 170 to 175 pounds,
Okay.
brown eyes, black hair that was parted to the left.
So he's a
Pretty
white
like
guy.
I was gonna say pretty
Just a basic,
unremarkable features.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And I guarantee you, as soon as he touched down, all of that's like the clothing came off.
yeah,
Everything came off. He's
yeah.
not wearing that
That was
anymore.
in the paper bag was an extra set of
Right,
clothes.
yeah. A change of
Right.
clothes.
Yeah.
All right, so sketches are done of the suspect, but the first sketch is rejected by witnesses who say that the nose is too thin. This is sketch A, and it's probably
Okay.
the one that you're most familiar with.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay. But two other sketches are made, and the third one looks the most like him, according to witnesses.
Okay.
Okay. So obviously, the press gets a hold of this pretty quickly,
Oh,
and the press
did we lose Cam? Sorry.
Uh-oh. Look at that face.
I know.
He's really pondering this, isn't he?
He is.
All right. So obviously, the press gets a hold of this pretty quickly. The press misprints the name DB Cooper instead of the actual name on the ticket of Dan Cooper.
Okay, I was gonna ask, I wonder where did the DB come from, but
Hmm.
that makes sense now.
Yeah. So, petty detail. Are you back with us, Cam?
Yay.
Maybe not.
Maybe. I don't know. He was for a second. That face
Yeah.
is even better. He's unimpressed.
All right, so another petty detail here. Dan Cooper was the name of a comic book character who was a Canadian fighter pilot.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Okay. So the evidence only leads the FBI so far. Okay. They find out that the tie that was left behind was actually pretty exclusive and was
Okay.
sold at J.C. Penney stores in the Christmas of 1964.
What?
So they surmise that Dan was familiar with skydiving as he didn't
Okay.
need the instructions for the parachutes.
Right.
Mhm.
They also believe that he knew the area because he mentioned the specific things to the flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they also think that he had knowledge of the Boeing 727 plane because he knew how to lower the back stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's either familiar with flying or just did his research.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all that they have.
Okay.
Dang.
The
That's
finger
not a lot.
No.
No.
So the fingerprints don't lead anywhere.
Yeah.
They don't find any trace of the money or the man.
Hmm.
The
Dang.
FBI even releases the serial numbers to the money to the public, hoping they will spot the bills.
Wow.
The public ain't. Public's not looking at that. I'm sorry.
Well,
That's not
actually, they
happening.
are. So they actually get a
Oh.
hit.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I thought for certain, I'm like, who cares? Like, what's happening?
But it turns out that two people used those serial numbers to make counterfeit money to swindle a Newsweek reporter out of
No.
$30,000 in
Oh
exchange for an
my.
interview.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh. That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
But no of the other bills are ever circulated, so it ends up being a dead end.
Dang. So huh.
So it sounds like he
He
didn't spend the money.
either he didn't spend the money or like no one ever found it. I don't know. Because like when
Right.
a bill gets circulated, it could keep going until it gets
Yeah, and maybe
destroyed,
nobody
right?
noticed, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you'd think
Well,
like if he
that's
spent that much money, somebody would notice.
well, and I'm trying to
Right.
think too, like if you, okay, let's, for whatever reason, say he crossed the border somewhere, Mexico, Canada, whichever. You
Yeah.
convert to that currency, bank's gonna flag it
Yep.
because the
Banks will
FBI has
absolutely.
flagged,
Yes.
excuse me, has flagged these serial numbers, so a bank's gonna flag it.
Right.
Even if you go into a business and maybe try and convert it that way, like I guess that's one way to get under the radar because a foreign company isn't necessarily going to be
Yeah,
looking for
that's
these
true.
serial numbers.
I
Oh,
mean, or
a
he
domestic
could
one might, but
right. He could have found like if he was going to Mexico City and he made it to Mexico, he could have found someone that's like, "Hey, I'll give you $200,000 in US money if you give me the equivalent in
yeah,
pesos." Like if you swap with me,
no
like just
questions
someone
asked.
if they
Yeah.
knew someone maybe or asked around for someone who I mean, you could pay people off with American money in Mexico, allegedly.
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 Yeah,
That is
Allegedly.
yeah.
a thought,
Uh
not a fact.
not a fact.
Right.
Yeah. But if you could do it that way, I mean, then you're sold. Because
Yeah.
now,
Mhm.
even if the bills do get found, it's somebody else.
Right.
They don't
Right.
know who you are. You're just some random white guy from America.
Yeah, and
So
it's
like,
not
Mm,
like they had the video surveillance in any of the
right.
right.
stores like we do
Because
now.
it's the 70s, so yeah.
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 Okay, so
Crazy.
after 5 years of crisscrossing the country, looking at 800 suspects,
Jeez.
tracking new leads, even going so far as to find a real DB Cooper and investigating him.
Oh no. And not even Dan Cooper, just DB Cooper,
Yeah,
which is the
Hmm.
wrong name,
right.
which
Right.
is the misprinted name.
Exactly. The FBI ends up with a whole lot of nothing and only 24 suspects on their list.
Jeez.
Dang.
Mhm.
That's wild.
When that story got printed, that the other DB Cooper was like, oh, crap.
Right?
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Right.
My name's Dennis, not
Yeah.
Dan.
Right? He's like holding all his receipts to make sure that he
Yeah.
can prove
Yeah.
where he
No,
was.
for
Seriously.
real.
All right. That is until 1978, when a hunter finds the placard with instructions on how to lower the stairs of a Boeing 727 in the woods,
Randomly. Okay.
Oh,
right? But again, this leads nowhere.
dang.
Because it's been, yeah,
It's been
Yeah.
7 years
Wow.
in
7
the
years.
woods.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and in 1980, a
Mhm.
kid finds a bag of money containing $5,800 that is rotting in the woods. And it
Oh,
actually matches the serial numbers.
no
Okay. Wow.
way.
So, searches are started in that area, but nothing else is found. And the case goes cold again.
Jeez.
And there are all kinds of theories. You can go down that rabbit hole of how that money got there.
Yeah.
Some
Right.
people say that he actually landed there. Some people say that it was like taken by the current. I mean,
Hmm.
there's a lot.
He could have been like, he could
Well,
have
and
gotten out, pulled the parachute, been like, oh crap, I'm too heavy, and just start throwing money. I mean,
well, I was gonna say because it was in his jumpsuit, not all of it fit in the
Hmm.
parachute bag. So like,
right.
he had some in his jumpsuit. So yeah,
Also,
who
the parachute
knows?
bag could have opened up with the difference in gravity and just money started flying. He's
Yeah.
just like falling. It's just money going
Hemorrhaging
everywhere.
money over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we don't know anything more, and that's kind of why it didn't lead anywhere
Yeah.
because
Right,
they didn't find anything else. So,
right.
not helpful.
Dang.
Okay, so let's talk suspects.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right, so one of the early suspects on that list of 24 is a
Hmm.
guy named Richard McCoy.
Okay.
Okay.
He is put on the list because in April of 1972, so just a couple months
Mhm.
after the Dan Cooper hijacking, Richard hijacks a plane.
Hmm.
Oh.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Right. And
No,
he
for
really
real.
raises suspicions when he asks for money and for parachutes.
Hmm.
Oh, you know,
Because
been there, done that.
copycats. I
Right.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's
Richard
like, well,
was
that guy got away with
right.
$200,000,
Yeah,
so
it'll be
like,
Right.
fine. So Richard was also in the military previously and had completed a lot of jumps, so he would have known how to use a
Mm.
parachute.
Okay.
Mhm.
And Richard actually gets away when he jumps out of the plane over Utah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if you're gonna jump at Utah, probably you don't. No one will find you.
Right.
Utah's like nothing.
So,
Sorry to. Multiple episodes. I have offended multiple places. I'm so sorry, Utah. I'm sure you're great, but Like, what's the capital of Utah? I'm gonna be fully
Salt
honest, I don't
Lake?
know.
Is it Salt
Salt
Lake?
Lake.
Is
I
it
think it's
Salt
Salt
Lake?
Lake. I think it's Salt Lake
Salt Lake
City.
City, Utah? Okay, okay.
Somebody tell us
I
in
know
the
that's the
comments.
biggest one.
Right.
Yeah. If you're from Utah, sorry. Please inform us about your lovely state.
Yes, exactly.
Utah has some beautiful landscape attractions.
Yeah,
I mean,
Okay. I'll have to
that's
visit.
yeah,
yeah. You could jump out of a plane.
you could.
Yeah.
All right,
Just
so
don't ask for 4 parachutes and money.
no.
Right.
So
No.
Richard
50
McCoy.
years later, they're like,
Right.
Right, who are you? All
Hmm.
right, so Richard McCoy is arrested pretty quickly,
Okay.
and he is sentenced to 45 years.
Oh, geez.
45? That's insane.
Right. But whenever he is asked if he is Dan Cooper, he refuses comment.
Okay.
But he breaks out of jail,
Of course.
Okay.
and he is on the run for 3 months before he is cornered by police and ends
Not
up dying in a
cornered.
shootout.
Whoa.
Oh no. Oh my God.
But Richard McCoy is discounted pretty quickly as a suspect when they find he has an alibi that he was in Vegas at the
Mm.
time.
Okay.
Reno? No, I'm just kidding.
And then he spent Thanksgiving with his family in Utah the next day.
Okay.
Oh.
He also doesn't look anything like the sketch, and he
Mhm.
was only 27 at the time.
There's also that.
Oh.
Yeah. And you'd think that his fingerprints would have matched. Because remember, they got
Absolutely, yeah.
66
Yeah,
fingerprints.
that's true.
Yeah.
And obviously, if they arrested him, they've got his fingerprints too.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So then we have Ted Braden. He was a
Okay.
career criminal. I don't know.
Criminal.
Say
He's
that
such a
one
cool
time
little
fast.
criminal.
Right.
All right. So he was running this truck scam in the 70s
Okay.
where he stole about $250,000.
Oh, dang.
Oh.
And he's put on the list because he was a really good skydiver.
Mm.
Okay.
To the point where he was in the army and he would do like the air shows where he would skydive, you know, where they,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
He was also a skydiving instructor.
Oh, okay.
But again, you'd think with him being a career criminal that they would have his prints on file
Yeah.
and they would have matched that ones to the plane, and they didn't.
Right.
That makes sense. Well, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so then we have Robert Rackstraw, who was
Okay.
also a suspect in 1978. He was a pilot who flew classified missions in World War II. He was
Okay.
said to have told people over the years that he was Cooper.
Really? Like just taking credit. Cool.
Right.
Yeah. He's
And
like, oh, by the way.
And he also
But what's your fun fact?
Right.
My fun fact is, yeah.
Two truths and a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People call
Yes.
me DB Cooper sometimes. I don't know why.
Right.
So he also looked similar to the sketch,
Oh.
but no other evidence was found before his death in 2019.
Okay.
Dang.
And he denied the rumors, saying that they were, quote, a load of shit.
Period.
All right.
Okay, so then there's the theory that because Dan Cooper jumped in a storm with winds reportedly up to 200 miles per hour from the height he was jumping from,
Oh my
Jeez.
gosh.
and he was landing in really rough and thick woods at night,
Yeah.
wearing loafers,
Oh no.
and
Yeah.
a parachute that couldn't be steered. Because remember, this
Okay.
isn't like a
It's just
normal
a
parachute.
falling, like,
Yeah, no, these
army
are just-
man
that's right, he-
parachute. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh.
Yeah, okay.
So
I
they
forgot
think
about
that
that
he
part.
probably died.
Oh, he's mad gone. I thought this was more like da 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 da, like down in the. Okay.
No. But
That's
no body
crazy.
has ever been found.
Wow.
He's been returned to nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a tree now.
Although they did find
Yeah.
another skeleton, so
True.
Right. DB Cooper was actually. Oh my God. What if it was her and she was in disguise as a dude? Wait. It must be. Oh, that's awesome.
Finkel
Wait, if
is
that's
Einhorn.
true,
Einhorn is
Allegedly.
Finkel.
Allegedly.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Yeah. All right. So some also say that the FBI was looking in the wrong spot and that the
Mm,
actual flight path was about 7 miles away from the search area.
Okay, but if you
And
do all the like trajectory and math and wind
Mhm.
speed and all that good stuff, yeah.
Right. And
right.
this theory was raised because the place that the money was found in 1980 couldn't have gotten where it was from the place where the FBI looked.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Okay. But again, nothing was ever found in that area either because it was searched.
right.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. So we also have some newer suspects.
Uh-oh. If you're
Really?
telling me one of them's me, I will lose it.
Cam, are you hiding money from us?
Right.
Yeah. I'm also, what, 70 years old.
Yeah. You look
You look
great.
damn good.
You look great.
Damn
Thanks,
good.
thanks. I drink a lot of water.
That's the key right there,
Yep.
hydration.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So there is a guy, Walter R. Recca,
Okay.
who also confessed to a friend in a recorded phone call.
Okay.
And he told his friend to release the recordings after he died.
Huh.
Now,
Okay.
Walter was also in the military and had parachuting experience
Why was the phone call
Okay.
recorded in the first place?
because he wanted his friend to release it after he died.
Okay, so it was
Because
intentional on his part.
if they did it before, he'd be arrested probably, or
Yeah.
at least
Well,
investigated.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, if I was just wondering if it was like a random recording
No.
but
Oh,
no, if it was,
he's
yeah.
like, oh, like, bro, we could like drink beers later, this, that, and another.
By the
Also,
way,
I'm
I'm DB
DB
Cooper.
Cooper,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. No, he actually wanted it released. So
Okay.
he told his friend that he escaped by hitchhiking to a truck stop.
Hmm.
Oh,
However,
okay.
he looks nothing like the sketch,
Okay.
and his supposed landing site was pretty far off the path, so he was ruled out as a suspect.
Okay.
Do they have like pictures of him then he was ruled
Mm,
out as like he didn't look like him? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Gotcha.
'Cause I was like, well, he's not gonna look like him now,
Yeah, but he
but
doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah, there's no way.
no relation.
Uh-uh. So Keith Christensen was put forth as a
Mhm.
suspect in 2003 by his
Okay.
brother,
Oh, way harsh.
I
right?
love it. I love you, brother, but turning you in.
He's like,
So
huh, my name's TB Cooper, and my brother's name starts with a D. He's DB Cooper.
Right.
yeah, they were having some kind of family squabble. So
Oh,
um
absolutely.
he was an army paratrooper. He was
Hmm.
also a flight attendant.
Oh,
Okay.
So he would have known the 727 plane.
Fair. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And he
Pretty
was
well, actually.
right. And he was 45 at the time of the hijacking.
Okay. So he fit
Oh,
the age demographic. Yeah.
Mhm.
okay.
But he is ruled out as a suspect, partially because he was too short.
Okay.
But in 2007, the FBI pulled DNA from the tie, which was able to rule
Really?
out some of the suspects,
What?
including this
Wow.
Keith guy.
That
Okay.
long after is wild.
Well, I mean,
DNA from it, I would figure
Mm,
it would deteriorate, right?
yeah,
not
but
if,
you
Well,
yeah.
can.
depending on the DNA, I guess.
Well, like pretend, yeah, like how it was stored or whatever. But
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
No, they can pull DNA from a lot.
Mhm.
I wonder if they can like if it's like partial DNA, if they can like reconstruct part of
I
it.
think they
I'm sure they
can now.
can.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
can now. I don't know
Pretty
back in
cool.
2007, but
Yeah.
I think they
This feels
can
like
now.
forensic files, which yeah.
All right, so Lyle Cooper
Oh,
was a suspect in 2011
dang.
when his niece
Oh no.
Oh my
said that he was
goodness.
in his 40s at the time and she remembered him planning something, quote, devious with his brothers
That's
around the same time as the hijacking.
insane
Okay.
to do. What is this? 20, no, 40 years later to be like, oh yeah, this story from back then, this guy. It's this
Yeah.
guy.
Right. Yeah.
Seriously, though, a lot of people have confessed to this,
That's insane.
an alarming amount.
Right. They're like, I want to be known as DB
And I don't
Cooper.
understand why they, I
Because you
get,
don't have the money. Like you're not getting
no,
money. The only thing you
No.
would get is
The
arrested,
money's gone.
right.
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah. So
So like,
I don't understand like what the point
I
is,
guess
but
if people have like a boring life and they want like a legacy, like maybe because like we're
yeah,
mentioning their names
that's
now,
true.
so you know what I mean. Like otherwise they wouldn't have been known. No fame,
That's
no
true.
fame.
True.
So
All right. So she also remembers that he came to Thanksgiving dinner with a bloody shirt saying
oh,
that he had gotten in a car accident.
okay.
Okay. He also is similar to the sketch.
Hmm.
But beyond
Interesting.
that there isn't strong evidence on that one.
Interesting.
She's like, oh
Crazy.
yeah, he was planning something and he's 40.
And bloody shirt.
Right.
Right.
Probably
It's
more
probably
he was doing
cranberry
something else.
sauce.
Yeah. Or he
Right.
was murdering somebody else and it was totally different.
No,
Like,
for real,
Yeah.
yeah.
all right. So William J. Smith was a World War II vet with aircraft and parachuting experience, and he was put forth as a suspect in 2018.
Dang.
Crazy.
So
Okay.
recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his motive would have been that he lost his job at the railroad in 1970 and had
Okay.
gone bankrupt, so he needed the cash.
That's
Okay.
Which,
interesting.
And Dan Cooper did say, I have a grudge. So, I
yeah.
mean, I could see that being a
You should have
grudge-worthy
hijacked a
thing.
train.
But that's what, I
What are
guess
you
that's what
talking
doesn't
about?
make sense.
Yeah.
So
Because you
he
have a grudge against,
also
yeah.
had a friend from high school that died in World War II with the name of Dan Cooper.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, so the thought was that he could have escaped via the railroad because he knew the routes. But again,
Mm,
Fair.
there is not a lot to go on with this one either.
right. Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. So then you got another dude, Dwayne Weber, confessed to his wife on his deathbed.
No.
Supposedly, allegedly.
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 He's like,
And
babe, I love you so much. Also, I'm DB Cooper,
right?
and just passes
Right.
away. It's just like the money is at, and then
Right? Yeah, exactly. That
yeah,
would have
Can
happened.
you imagine being her, though, and getting that confession? Cool, where's the money then? Like,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you're DB Cooper,
That's why she turned him in after. Because he
right?
told her.
DB could stand for dollar bills.
Oh.
Dollar,
So
dollar bills, y'all.
maybe dollar bills, yeah. Alias.
All right. So he said that he injured his knee in the jump, and
Okay.
he claimed to still have the plane ticket.
No way.
At least this is what his wife said, but she
Okay.
never produced it.
I was gonna say, way to get
'Cause-
way to get your house raided by the FBI, honestly. They probably
Right.
like
But he was ruled out in 1998 because his fingerprints didn't match, and after testing, his DNA didn't match either.
oh, okay.
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 They
But
23 and meet him.
Right.
remember, we were talking about Barbara. So
Uh-huh.
not only men can be suspects.
Right.
We have Barbara Dayton, who was a
Mhm.
World War II vet and explosives expert.
Okay.
Another Barbara?
Yeah, another Barbara.
That's crazy.
And they said her motive was that she was mad at the airline industry because she was trying to get a pilot's license for years, but she wasn't successful.
Dang.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not really sure what that has to do with the airline industry,
She
though.
couldn't get a pilot's license.
Yeah, but they don't give them out.
Well,
Oh.
true. But
It's she said she
dude
did
got
that.
fired from a railroad job, so like
Right.
Yeah,
The
that's true.
that
person
too.
said that they just had a grudge, not a grudge with the airline, so it could just be like planes in general, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Every time I see a plane, I just go
Just
off.
I
Yeah.
see red. Just
Yeah.
I
rage.
see yeah.
it's plane adjacent, so it's fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, plane adjacent.
Okay, so now she did confess a few times in her life,
Oh.
saying
Huh.
that she posed as a man to avoid detection.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Why did I call that earlier?
You
That's
called
crazy.
it.
Ah,
But
let's
she
go.
even told people where she hid the money.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah. But she
which
later
was
recanted the story and no evidence was
Hmm.
found. So obviously she
Ah,
didn't give great directions.
there we go.
yeah. She's like
Maybe this is
left, or
why she
was it
couldn't get a
right?
pilot's
It's like,
license.
girl. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You're bad
exactly.
with directions. You don't get a license.
I know.
Right, right.
So then a new clue is uncovered.
Oh,
Oh.
So on the tie that was left behind, there were
Mhm.
particles of metal that are half titanium and half stainless steel.
okay.
Okay.
And this is a certain kind of metal that was only used in aircraft fabrication and chemical companies at the time.
Okay. Hmm.
Oh.
So this guy, Eric Eulis, somehow gets a hold of like old scientific reports and
Mhm.
realizes that this metal was a patent to Crucible Steel of
Hmm.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, so their headquarters are in Pittsburgh,
Uh-huh.
and they were a subcontractor in the 60s that supplied most of the stainless steel and titanium to Boeing.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
So he also finds that the Crucible Steel workers would go from Pittsburgh to Seattle all the time for work.
Wow.
What? That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah, so
There's something
this
there.
it
They're
could
like, I need
be.
a list of all your employees.
Right?
Yeah, so this clue brings up some new suspects. So we have Joe Lakich.
Okay.
He was a
Okay.
retired Army major who worked at an electronics factory. So he would have been exposed to these metal particles.
Wow.
Right.
And his motive was said to be that his daughter had been killed in an FBI hostage situation 2 months before the hijacking, and that he had a grudge against the FBI.
Oh, dang.
What?
That's a pretty compelling motive.
Right.
But
Yeah.
again, there isn't much like evidence-wise on
Hmm.
him.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, but then there's this guy that Eric Eulis puts forth as a suspect. His name is
Mm-hmm.
Sheridan Peterson.
Okay.
He was a
Okay.
World War II vet.
Mm-hmm.
He had skydiving experience and he worked at Boeing.
Okay.
Okay.
But there were layoffs at Boeing in 1971. So he could have
Oh.
gotten caught up in that. So money would have been his
Mm.
motive. And Eric claimed that Peterson was in Seattle at the time.
Mm.
Wow.
Hmm.
However,
However. But wait,
Uh-oh.
there's more.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was ruled out as a suspect because he was actually in Nepal at the time.
Mm.
Oh.
Pretty
Yeah,
solid alibi.
right. And
Yeah.
yeah, and his
Lucky.
DNA didn't match.
Oh.
Also solid alibi.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to Richard McCoy. Remember him? He's our
Okay.
first suspect.
Yeah.
Right.
Recently, like recently, Richard McCoy's kids went through the house after their mom passed away.
Oh.
They found a parachute in the shed that they believed
No.
was the same unique style as the one used by Dan Cooper.
No
No
way.
way.
No way.
So
No way.
they
Well,
talked to
I,
the
I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
say, I remember you saying the parachutes that they got because they came from a school. That's why they were so unique in their style because that guy
Right.
Because that,
modified them.
yeah, because that guy packed
Okay.
them. Yeah. So they talked to this YouTube researcher named Dan Greider about it. And
Another
they,
Dan.
yeah, another
Another
Dan.
Dan.
And they thought that their mom might have been like complicit in the crime also, which is why they waited
Oh.
till she died.
Hmm.
She was in the car, picked him up when
Yeah.
he got
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
But then remember Richard's alibi that he was at Thanksgiving dinner in Utah.
Oh yes. Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
Well, his sister-in-law comes out to say that he wasn't actually at Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh,
oh,
the
Okay.
plot twists.
Yeah. Again, I'm kind of on the fence because they should have had his fingerprints. But
right.
this one they don't have a final answer on because as of this year, the FBI was doing DNA testing, like late this year.
Oh, so it's still
Wow.
in process.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
they're gonna test McCoy against the DNA?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
maybe we'll know soon.
Yeah, maybe we'll
We'll
know
have to do a
soon.
part two.
Yeah. All right, so how did he even get away with this, right? Well, first off, you didn't have to show ID to get on a plane ticket or to get a plane ticket in 1971.
Right.
What? Why?
IDs were not required until 1996.
Huh?
Yeah, when Clinton mandated it in response to the TWA 800 crash.
96.
96,
That's insane.
That blows my mind.
right?
Yeah.
I could not believe that either.
Wow.
I had to check that a couple times.
Yeah.
So I'm like, are you serious? Yeah.
Right.
Petty detail though, the airlines actually wanted the ID to be mandated for years before 1996
Well, yeah.
because they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to stop people from reselling tickets
Yeah.
Right.
because anybody
They're
can
like,
sell that
here.
ticket. Yeah,
Right.
Right.
doesn't
I'm
matter.
Leslie,
Hmm.
whatever last name. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
they didn't
interesting.
have like, yeah,
Crazy.
because it was just a ticket, literally.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
Like any
you,
other ticket, like a movie ticket.
yeah, exactly. So you could even pay cash for a ticket. So there's no trail there.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And remember the bomb, allegedly?
Right.
Well, luggage,
Play-Doh. No.
we don't know because luggage wasn't screened until 1973.
That's insane.
You could get on a plane with anything,
Oh
With
yeah.
anything.
Yes.
anything.
That's unimaginable in today's
Oh, yeah.
like anything. Oh, good God.
100%
Hmm.
great. Yeah. That's just nuts.
So the screening of the luggage started because of the wave of hijackings that started happening around this time, because there were a
Okay.
bunch of them.
Yeah.
Um, and then they started sending luggage through an X-ray machine and a metal detector.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay. But again, we don't know if it was a bomb or not.
Yeah.
So,
True.
and without the money being spent or the fingerprints matching anybody, there really wasn't much to go on.
Wow.
Dang.
So, as of 2016, the FBI said it wouldn't investigate anymore, but they would preserve the evidence and keep the case open, which
Okay.
is why, as of November 2024, they were testing that DNA for Richard McCoy.
Yeah.
Okay.
New evidence comes up. Oh, like
Yeah.
we look
Mhm.
back at the case,
Right. So, last petty detail here.
Oh,
Remember the guy, Earl Cossey, who packed the parachutes?
Yes.
right.
Well, over the years, the FBI would bring him parachutes and he would try and identify them, but he never found one that was correct.
Okay.
Hmm.
But on April 26th, 2013, he
Mhm.
was found at his house murdered with blunt force trauma to the head.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
DB,
Wow.
what are you doing?
Right.
And he wasn't found until 3 days later by his daughter, and he was 71.
Oh my
My
goodness.
God.
And the weird thing is that his ID and credit cards were mailed back to him by some good Samaritan, they think.
Okay. Wow.
Wait, what
And,
happened to his? What do you mean?
like they
Like where
took it,
his?
somebody
Oh, they
took
took it
it
when they
when
killed
they,
it? Oh, when
Mhm.
they killed him.
Mhm.
And then
Oh,
somebody sent it back.
Hmm.
weird.
Right.
Huh.
And his murder has never been solved.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is. Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah. So until they have like a DNA hit with a family member, like the geological or
Right. That's why I was like, they
genealogy
should
stuff,
23
yeah.
and me
Yeah.
his DNA
Right.
and see
So,
what pops up.
right, because that's been happening, right?
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Golden State Killer, stuff like that. They are finding people years
Mhm.
later.
Right.
But until we do something like that, I don't think they're ever going to solve this one. They don't have
Dang.
anything.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's the thing. I mean, the FBI is not actively investigating it, so that would constitute an active investigation by running it against
Right.
any like 23andMe type situation.
But there
Right.
are like internet sleuths out there that
True.
have been doing that. So maybe they'll
They
find
have his
something.
DNA? How are they
Yeah.
doing that?
Yeah, they can get usually DNA from the cops or whatever because
Records.
they help them
Yeah.
unofficially.
Oh. I thought you meant just like random YouTubers like us. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, they kind of are, but
They're
they actually
consultants.
sit there and do all the research
Yeah.
and
Dang,
find
okay.
it. Yeah.
And don't get
So
paid anything. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they
maybe they
cost
do. I
millions.
don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, so there you go.
Crazy.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Not
Such
just
an
some
it's
guy
interesting
much
jumping out the
bigger
story,
than
plane.
the
though.
it's much bigger
Yeah.
than the little story that you thought it was.
Right. Oh,
Right.
yeah. I mean, there's way more to it.
I think we solved it. I think DB Cooper was a woman.
All right.
There you
Hey, you
go.
heard it here first.
Just a
Cam
thought, not a
solved it.
fact.
Just
All right.
I could work for the FBI.
You could.
there you go. Man.
They'd be like,
All right. Stay petty, my friends, and look for those serial numbers.
Yeah.
yeah.
Beware of those
All right.
dollar bills, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.